Hey guys, I have returned. I am, because I happened to see the book above his head, going to come and turn in this quest to the collector. I will make note of the fact that I have 26.2% of my adventuring vitality right now. Let's see what happens here. We'll come here, we'll turn in a collection. I don't even know what collection it is. Looks like it's the Near coins that I got earlier. And now I still have 26.2. All right, cool. Good to know. And now I need to probably go and visit various places to turn in some status point items. These are not especially high level status point items, so none of these are going to give me any guild XP, or guild status points, I should say. But they will give me some personal status points. So that's going to help me purchase some crafting tables for the guild house later on. So I do have one, at least one stack of each of the types of status point items. So this will be an easy way to show you where they go and how to do that. So I need to sell the fighter ones at the fighter area, which is right here in front of Antonia Bale's castle in North Qeynos. All right, I am going to sell these items. Now you'll notice Black and Darn Relics. It's always going to be this kind of statue top guy for the fighters. And it's 100 status points for each item. And they're yellow. What the yellow means is that it will not give you credit for your guild status points. So it's not going to raise your guild level any. If it was blue, then it would. Yellow, it will not. So selling that with that in mind. It also, it does, I believe it should raise your faction standing with the Fighters Guild. But anyway, I'm gonna run over now to the Priests Guild, which is also in North Qeynos. It's over at the Temple of Life. So we're heading north, kind of northwest currently, but essentially north through North Qeynos and on the way to Elldar Grove. And I actually ought to have picked up the quest that was right there. I do have room for one more in my journal. And that would have been a city writ. Now we can sell these to this fella here. It's the coral amulets. Any of these amulet top things are going to go to the Priest Guild. That should be the only ones that I currently have. I don't... Let's see here. I don't think... Yeah, I don't think that I need the quest from this guy. I do feel inclined to go ahead and run back. No, I won't, because I actually only have room for one more quest anyway, so I won't go pick that one up. I'll just come on to Elddar Grove, as was the intention, and turn in the status point items for the Scout Guild. Scout Guild is over here in Elldar Grove, and it's at the treehouse. So the area where you get city writs is also the area where you turn in your status point items. Before I talk to this guy, I'm going to go ahead and bring the platform down because somebody has left it up there. And that way it'll have a little bit of time to get down in case I do need to go up there to pick up a writ. Let's see here. There are my sealed documents. These are paraffin sealed documents. They are good for status point items from the Scout Guild. I see that I do have a quest right here. And so that's going to be, I'm going to go onto this platform here, and then we click this and it'll raise the platform up to the treehouse where some of your city writ givers are hanging out. There are also some other quests that you can get up here. And I need this writ right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get Unsustainable Population Growth. It's a level 32 writ, and it looks like it's going to require the killing of some orc invaders in the orc choice. So there we go. We'll accept that. Now my journal is full. I'm going to jump off of here to get my save fall up, but I'm going to go ahead and click that so that it'll go down, and the next time somebody needs to come up, it'll be available for them. So, alright, got that done. I'm going to uncheck that from my journal because I don't really intend to do it right away. Now I'm going to run over to the down below because that's going to be the quickest way for me to get to South Qeynos, which is where I need to go for the Mage Guild in order to turn in my final status point item stack. I always like to pick this chest if it hasn't been picked recently because I don't know, I just enjoy marking items. It's just a fun thing to do, you know? Alright, so heading over to South Qeynos. Now we're going to be at the northern end of South Qeynos, so we have to run all the way to the south. Well, and you know, I said that, I'm completely wrong. It's actually that we're at the east end and we're running to the west. If only my directional sense in this game was a little bit better. But that's alright. I'll say hello to Elixia, who has logged in. Alright, now, the guy that we're going to need to talk to turn these in is going to be at the bottom, and it'll be just as simple as all the rest of them were. Now, if I want to get the writs of my level, then I would have to go into one of the teleporters. I do think... Okay, so I don't currently have any quests. Oh, wait, that's wrong. There is a quest showing up on my window. I'm not going to pick it up because I already have a full quest journal. First and foremost, I'm going to sell these status point items. It looks like that's probably the only one that I have. It's a scrying stone. That's what you're going to see when you're talking about mages. They would love to buy your scrying stones. So there you go. Let's see. The guy in question is over there, so we're gonna try the red portal. See what we're looking at. Yep, it is in fact just a writ, as we thought it was. So if I had room in my journal, and you know what, I may make some room in my journal because I think that I wouldn't mind having some more writs. That's a writ, man. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna just check and see if I can see some repeatables that I don't actually care about deleting, that I can just pick up later. Those are both writs. I could get rid of the Defense of Thundermist Village. I have killed one of the bears, but it's not that big of a deal, so I think I will just get rid of this one so that I can pick up this bit right here. And I'm going to take the Millennium of the Scholar, which is going to be to kill some treants in insect. So go ahead and accept that. And now, because I am a scout and I like to get my safe fall up, I'm going to have a bit of a fall here. And then I'll take another little bit of a fall here. So, got my safe fall up 1 point with that little trek. Alright, very good. I'm happy with that situation. I don't really think that I want to go toward Qeynos Harbor right now. I don't really have any... Well, let me make sure, but I don't think that I have any turn-ins or anything over there. So there's no real reason for me to go that direction. I think I will just head to the down below so that I can easily hop over to the caves and then the willow wood. And then it doesn't look like I have much to deposit in the depots, but I do have a little bit of fish that I can throw in, and that might be an eye for an orc. Yep, it is. So I do have a couple of lore and legend pieces I can throw in, and I have some fish. So I will get that underway. Got to keep these provisioners busy somehow. And of course, grabbing the shiny on the way is always a good idea as you go through the caves. Maybe somebody in the guild will appreciate it later on. There's the willow wood. And let's see, I can throw these items into the bank as I go by. I also noticed earlier that I had gotten the Bootstarter's Field Guide to the Common Lands, which I haven't done yet on this character. So, had I realized that when I was in the Common Lands, I could have gone ahead and done that catalog quest pretty quickly. Alas, that's not the way that went, so oh well. I don't want to throw my my dark brown coal into my bank, but I think I will throw my dull black coal into it because I'm not on that tier anymore, and it may just be good to get it out of my bags. So I'm going to throw that into the bank, and then the other thing that I want to chunk for now are these fertilizers and waters. I didn't get any of the bones when I was out earlier, which is of course perfectly fine. And I think that I'm going to go ahead and chunk some of these Farsi's requisitions. And I'm going to regret this later, because what's going to happen is probably later, I'm going to find myself in the Fallen Gate or the Wailing Caves. And I'm going to go, oh man, I wish I had those quest starters. Because that's the way these things go. I'm going to forget them here, and it's going to be a whole thing. Because I always say to myself, okay, whenever I have some room in my journal, I can come and grab these quest starters out of my bank. Realistically, that's unlikely to happen. I'm probably going to just forget all about them until I get there. And then I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, those things. I remember that. That was a thing. I already have the fairy language, which is what this fabric patch gives. So I'm going to just destroy those. Wrath's Journal is another quest item, and while I don't really want it, also I'm afraid to put it in my bank because I might end up needing it. But I am going to put these large orcish keys in there, and then I'm going to regret that later, most likely. This is the way of it. Pretty sure that's the direction I'm going with all this. But oh well. I will do it and suffer the consequences later. It'll be fine. I don't see anything else that's just jumping out at me and saying, stick this in the bank where you can forget it exists and then regret your life. So, with that in mind, I'm going to run on over to our guild house and get some of these items dumped into the depots there. Okay. I'm glad that it doesn't take nearly as long to zone into any zone, including the homes, but not limited to, as it did when this game was actually in 2007, because it's very nice to be able to zone and not be able to like go do some dishes and then come back and hey, there you are. I appreciate that. Put those in, and now the last depot I want to visit right now is going to be this lore and legend one. Throw those items in. That cleared out a lot, as you could see right there. I do have this piece of rough jasper that did not go in, and the reason is because this one was not a harvested one. I believe it was one that dropped from a boss. Sometimes there's an issue where those don't go in as they ought to the depots. I'm not really sure why. All I know is that it happens. I also see that I have some random spells. 2 of them are Swashbuckler spells that I was given by a guildmate for later use. Even though they're only adepts, I think that they'll be very good to just kind of keep in my bags so that when I hit those levels, I can be surprised that I have them and I can use them. It'll be wonderful. All right, let's see. Do I need to pick anything else? Yes, I almost forgot. I need ammo terribly badly. Unfortunately, what I'm seeing is that we don't really have any high quality or even decent quality for my level arrows. We have some level 17s and some level 7s. I currently am using 27, level 27. I really don't care very much about what type of arrow. In my case, because I'm a swashbuckler, I'm not doing a lot of ranged attacks, so it's not as important as it would be for like a ranger. Yeah, it's just not that terribly vital. So I'm willing to just take whatever the cheap one is. I don't want to get some from like the general merchant. Those are pretty low quality. So, that's where I'm at the moment. Let me see if I can go find some decent arrows on the broker. By the way, I am at my son's comics and cards shop again, and there is a D&D game going on in the next room from me. It's often the place I'm at whenever I'm streaming. Not always, but often I'm here. And so, when you hear the very strange noises all around me, that's pretty much what's going on. It's an interesting location. The thing that I need is the Fairy arrows. And if you just type in Fairy, interestingly, that is the first things that come up. These are definitely fairly expensive to pay for one arrow. 4 silver and 80 copper per arrow. How crazy. So an entire stack, if I wanted a full stack, let's see, it would be 1 gold, 15 silver, and 20 copper. Let's see here. And that was for the 24 of them that I needed to replenish the stack that I had. The question is, do I want to buy another stack? I feel like I probably should, simply because I would hate to run out of it, even though, like I said, I don't use them that much. But at the same time, I wouldn't like to not have it when I need it. So I'm going to go ahead and get a 3rd stack of that. So that was 5 gold, or no, sorry, 4 gold and 75 silver and 20 copper for 1 stack of Fairy hunting arrows. So that's a level 27 arrow. I mean, I'll take it. I don't like it, but that's the way it is. All right, now. For the moment, I think I'm going to head back to the guild house and do a little bit of crafting. You can sort by category and get my my city trade skill task checked so that I can see what I have to do. And we'll go to the guild house. Make sure I have my fuel. I still do have it. So we have the harvesting depot in the guild house, and we have a workbench in the guild house. So I can just go straight up there and start my crafting right here at this table. Now, before I begin, I'm going to remember to put on my crafting set. This time, the only things in my crafting set are my Artisan's Tunic, And this here, Nogginsparks Wondrous Ticker Duel, which increases the power of the caster by 70 whenever I use that. Can definitely come in handy when I'm running low on power. Open up my knowledge book, go to the trade skill tab, and on the last page there, I've set up a couple of rows. The top one is for durability gain, and the bottom one is for progress gain during crafting. So those are my current level spells for those purposes. So, all right, with that all in mind, let's make some Deafening Missile adepts. But I do have to kind of halfway spell that correctly. There we go. Even better. I'm going to start with just clicking the progress buttons to increase the progress. Makes it go a little faster. But as my durability, which is the green bar, goes down, I'll have to throw in some of the top bar to get a little bit of that durability back. Now, I missed that event, and it knocked my power way down. Or so it seemed. So, that's a shame. I do have drinks going. I don't have any potions running, or any totems running, rather, and I don't think I have any power potions on myself right now. I wouldn't choose those for crafting anyway, but I don't think that I have any, because I believe I gave my last power potions to one of my guildmates either earlier today or last night. I'm not sure. I think I'm completely out of them currently, but I will try to remember before I leave the house to go pick some up from the poisonous potions and totems depot. I think we might be running low on them, so I may not be able to. We'll see. My Swashbuckler just made level 30, so I actually probably need new wings anyway for the appropriate level. But I'm not really sure. It's hard to say what we have in there currently. So this character is a jeweler. So in addition to making jewelry, he can make scout spells. I think that I have him all of the advanced jeweler books up to level 32. Try to keep those as updated as I can. And sometimes we have them in the depot, and sometimes I just buy them off the broker. But either way, I do my best to make sure to have those, so that if anybody needs an Adept 3, or if anybody needs a mastercrafted piece of jewelry, I'm ready for that. I actually need to make myself some level 30 jewelry, I think. Probably my jewelry is pretty far behind where it should be, because humorously enough, the shoemaker's wife has no shoes, you know. I have made jewelry for others, but I've not made jewelry for myself on this character so much. Might be about time for me to do that. I feel like I've gotten some decent jewelry drops, and also considering the fact that there's a lot of good jewelry pieces from heritage quests that I know I'll be getting soon. So I don't feel any great degree of inclination to jump on that. I think that the handcrafted will be sufficient, at least until I get some of those heritage quest rewards that are definitely very good, and I would still be using at this point if I had them anyway, over the certainly over the handcrafted, and probably over the mastercrafted at this level, most likely. even though it says that Elixia is there, I think he is probably actually AFK at the moment. So I don't expect a whole lot of interaction out of him currently. Alright, and there was level 33 jeweler, so should be able to get the next jewelry book there, and I'll just have to remember to do that and check specifically the depot before I run out of the house to turn this writ in. It's one of my failings. I have so much trouble remembering things, especially short-term memory particularly. So the odds of me actually remembering by the time I'm done with this writ, grab the advanced jeweler book out of the depot if it's in there, the odds are not great. I'm going to give myself at least a 20% chance for that to happen. We'll see. Hopefully it will come to fruition. If not, that's not a big deal, really. And also, on my way, I will have to try to remember to grab the regular book from the trade skill agent outside of the crafting instance. At some point, I'll have to try to log in and work on some of my my low-level crafters, which I have two other characters technically on this server. I haven't logged into either of them in some time. One of them is definitely still on the island. The other one, I believe, is not on the island, but is barely off the island. I think that I was just crafting with that one and really nothing else, so. And I don't even know what I was going for as far as their crafting levels go. But I should log on to them at some point, give it a shot, and see if I can remember what I was doing. Or at the very least, decide what I'm going to do, whether it's what I had previously planned to do or not. I need to check and see where we're at in the guild as far as what classes of crafters we still need. And that's particularly regarding high-level crafters, because low-level crafting, I think there's a wide spread of crafters at the low levels, but the thing to look for would be what are we missing in the high-level ranges. Not that I'm necessarily going to be flying up to those ranges anytime soon, but it's still a good idea to kind of go toward that whenever I decide to work on a second crafter on here. On live, I have every subclass of crafter up to a minimum of level 110. And I actually have duplicates of some of them. They've all done the proof in the pudding and all that. They've all, every one of them has finished their heritage quests, and they've all, I don't know, I don't know what my highest level of them is. I want to say maybe I'll say 120, but I think it's more likely that it's 125. And that would only be one or two of them of that high, probably my provisioner. I'm not sure. It's been some time since I really did anything on live in earnest, so when I was working there last, I was just kind of catching up on questline stuff, and that includes both crafting and adventuring. But that's been quite a while, so I'm not really sure. I think that that the level cap is like 135 on live right now, but I'm not really sure because I haven't logged in over there in so long. Who knows? Anything could have happened. The door to this room was open, and I think we were kind of blasted with the conversation from the D&D room over there. Not sure if you guys could hear that very well or not, but always entertaining. Alright, so now we are at the tail end of this writ, and I actually have vague memories of going to the depot over here that I'm supposed to, most importantly, and see if I can find... Ah, yes, okay, so they do not have Advanced Jeweler 33 in that box. Alright, in that case, I'm going to go out, and I'm going to remember to talk to this guy outside of the trade skill instance. I'm telling myself this because otherwise I will just run on by without picking it up. Alright, crafting tray. There he is. I managed it. Look at that. Beautiful. What's in this book? We've got Bum Rush, Darrow's Dull Blade, Discouraging Descant, Exposed Attack, Kidney Blow, Lie Low, Pouncing Attack, Slaughter, Spring, and Waltz, Thirsting Thrust. Alright, well, none of those are particularly of interest, but, you know, it's always good to have them. So here we go. Now I have those in my knowledge book, and gonna go see if I can find the Advanced Jeweler Volume 33. Alright, Advanced Jeweler. I'm just gonna say 33. Oh, that's not bad at all. It's only 8 gold and 40 silver. I expected much worse. So here we are. Now we have Adept 3 recipes for all of the aforementioned spells that were in the regular book. And currently at 0% vitality, 7.9% into this level. So go ahead and turn that in. And grab the next one. By the way, I noticed earlier that our guild is 23% through level 25. So, well, I don't know that it was 23 exactly percent at the time, but it was somewhere close to that, if not exactly that. So, all right, excellent. Just as a bit of a check here, I'm wondering what exactly I have going on. I think I'm going to sort by level and just kind of see, oh look, all those beautiful gray quests. And unfortunately, the Return of the Light is one of them. Would like to finish that quest. I was hoping to do it while it was still green, but alas, apparently gray is the way with backwind. On the plus side, I'll probably be mentored down anyway for that quest. So not doesn't matter too much. Otherwise, I have the Snare and Heirloom quest, which I was trying to do earlier. Cannot find his body. I don't know what's going on with that. I tried updating the stylized dagger the other day, unsuccessfully. I'm supposed to just be able to right click this and examine it and it should update, but I've been trying this for days and it does not want to work. Basically, I click attach the opal and nothing happens. And then I just hit the Windrush dagger away and nothing happens. Fortunately, it does not disappear from my journal like the broken harness and the dull wedge do, but it also doesn't update, so kind of stuck on that one. A key to the past. I need the Tomb of Valor. That's actually the place where you get the update for restoring Ghoulbane, which is a heritage quest. That's a very important heritage quest in my opinion. And this, a key to the past, is the access quest for that zone. Berik's Revenge is the Sword of Thunder. I'm on the step where I have to speak to Berik again. Again, I've been hesitant to do anything with the items in my bags that have dropped because the updates have been so spotty. Particularly the Sword of Thunder is a difficult one to get to drop. I'm gonna go ahead and try it. We're gonna see what happens. Hopefully it'll update. Oh, it did. That's great. Okay, so I have updated this since I've passed all the tests, and Berik seems appeased. It is quite a fine sword and will serve me well. Alright? So now we'll accept that reward, and here we have it. Berik Sword of Thunder. It's a very nice sword. It's a little bit of a slower delay than the one that I like. Somebody just leveled in here, so I'm gonna send them a little bit of congrats. But it has some good stats, and on a combat hit, this spell has a 10% chance to cast Magic Bolt on target of attack, which inflicts 43 to 53 magic damage on target, which is a good amount of damage. You can see that comparing it to my steel dagger that I have on, the amount of damage that it does every time it triggers is not as much as the one that I have on as an imbuement, but it does trigger twice as often. It has a 10% chance, whereas mine has a 5% chance of triggering. So it is a very good weapon, especially if you're level 20 and can't wear the Mastercrafted yet. One thing I forgot to do while I was in the house was make myself some jewelry. I will go back and do that, I think, in a moment. But anyway, Berik Sword of Thunder, very good. Glad to have that one finished. I'm glad that it updated and didn't mess up, so excellent. Cleansing of the Fire Mist Gully is in Fire Mist Gully, which is the zone outside of Antonica. This one is a quest over in Neck Forest. So this is another Neck Forest. So we have a few different ones in Neck Forest. That one's Firm and Snag. So I have a few things that are grayed out that I need to get around to doing. But I am also glad to have cleared a spot in my journal for another quest. Always on the search for more room in my journal for sure. Now I'm going to go make some jewelry. I don't know what of it I'll actually need right now. But I'll make a set of it, and whatever I don't need, I'm sure someone else will, so. May as well do that. That being said, I also want to have a look as I go at what materials we have currently in our depot to work with, and may need to go and gather some, probably from Enchanted Lands, because that's the easiest place to gather T4 materials from. Let's see here. What can I make in the way of jewelry at level 30 right now? Could make some symbols. Not interested in making symbols. Opaline earrings. Probably not what I want. We have some edged leather belts. it's an engraved leather belt, but what I would need would be the edged leather because I can only wear it at level 30 right now. I can't. If you look at my adventure XP or at my adventure level, I'm only level 30, so can't do that. Oh no, you're good, Shadow's Ret. I understand. Yes, this belt is pretty useless actually for me, and I don't want it at all. I could make one, but I for just getting the pristine bonus maybe, but I don't really see any need to do that. Think I don't care that much. And that appears to be the only pieces of jewelry that I can make at the moment at level 30. So earrings that I don't want, and I'll show you what that looks like. It doesn't really matter which one I choose. The only difference is whether they're arcane, elemental, or noxious. And what's interesting is they don't even give you power. This is just health and then resistance against whatever it is. In this case, it's elemental, but you can do it, like I said, arcane or noxious. Either way, that's all it's giving you right now. What I currently have on is pretty definitively better, hands down, than any of that. So not really of great interest to me there. And then, as I showed you earlier, the belt is it's very bad. My level 22 mastercrafted is better than the level 30 handcrafted, hands down. So, okay, could have made some level 30 jewelry. Pretty sure I'm not interested. Moving forward with that, then I'm gonna go ahead and throw out another of these writs, I think, for the month. Got a chilling throw set to make. Shadow, we didn't end up staying in very much longer after you left anyway. Elixia had to go run and get some things done, and not too long after that, I also had to go run and do some things, so you didn't miss much. I did go manage to get killed in Falling Gate after you left. I made it down to Burp Belly in the pot, but I was not able to gather his body before they killed me, so... Oh, I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. Hope everything turned out alright. Oh, good, okay. Glad to hear everything was alright. I'm just kind of relaxing and doing a little bit of crafting at the moment. Let me know if you need any help with anything and I can come assist. But I just made level 33 jeweler a little bit ago. Well, thank you. Green bar got a little bit low there for a minute, so I had to kind of concentrate on hitting some of these increased durability buttons to save it from going to bar number 3. Ah, I see, you're out gathering. I'm thinking I may go gather here in a little bit in Enchanted Lands as well. It depends on how the depot looks. I actually intended to check that before I started crafting. And then I didn't, so I'll do that right now that I'm thinking of it again. Oh, yeah, okay. So we have a decent amount in here, but I think we could definitely use some more because we'll blow through that pretty fast. I would say we're a little bit low on roots and velium. Well, really, roots, velium, and loam more than anything. So yeah, I will definitely be doing the same here soon. I haven't gathered in Enchanted Lands on this character yet. In fact, I don't think that I've been. I don't know. I feel like I may not have been to Enchanted Lands yet on this character at all. But I'm not 100% sure, so I won't say so. You know what? I may have. Oh yeah, absolutely. The wasps can certainly get you because you're running along minding your own business, and then there's something that's very aggro. Also, the fairies. Some of the fairies are also aggro. But I definitely need to go over there. There are a bunch of collections, particularly page collections, that I need to get started on. And just to get some stuff for the depot. I feel like there might be a few of us in the 30s on crafting. Maybe not. Maybe the others have already surpassed this level. Who had been there? I'm not sure. Let's see here. Let's try level, crafter level, and we'll go down and see. Which ones are in their 30s? Yes, it looks like we have a few of these levels. So, carpenter, 2 jewelers, including me, of course, an alchemist, and a couple of tailors, all around this level. So yeah, we're definitely going to need a significant amount more than we have right now in that depot. So. That can be something I can work on doing after I leave the guild house after this writ. And that'll also give me a little bit of time for my vitality to go back up on both my adventuring and my crafting. In fact, I may just go do it after I finish this combine. Because, why not? I may as well get it done while I'm thinking about it and while no one else is in need of my adventuring services. So, before I forget, I'm going to switch into my harvesting unit and then head that direction. I better make sure I have plenty of room in my bags because bags fill up faster than it feels like they should. Almost forgot to check after all that talk. Yeah, okay, so I have almost 3 bags of space. I would really like to throw some of these into the bank. I could put Berik safely into the bank I won't be needing him for anything. So I will do that. Just auto bank that. I may as well put that bootstrutter's guide in here for, you know, that imaginary time when I'm going to have space for more quests. And in fact, I'll do that with all of this kind of, since I can't start a stylized dagger, I'll throw that in. It's going to be a rough time when I need these and I'm out and about and I wonder where they are and why I don't have them in my bags. The answer is because sometimes I just want space in my bags and I throw things into my bank that I ought not to throw into my bank. So there we are. Now that gives me a little over 3 full bags to fill up with any number of things. Who knows what by the time all said and done. Alright, so why did I go within Qeynos, you may ask? The answer is because I click buttons bad. That's why. And I click bells bad too. Looks like Elixia probably crashed. I suspect that he went AFK and it finally logged him out. I did not pick up more health potions or power potions or totems or anything. Totally forgot to do all that.
Well met.
Alright, I will be right back.
This has means I smell. Ew. I didn't say it was a good smell. Man, they already started from the get-go hating you. They're going to sound insane. Go. Hello.
Okay, sorry about that. Took me a moment longer than anticipated, but I'm back. I see in general chat over here that somebody named their guild Heroic Opportunity. It's cute. It occurs to me that at this point I could upgrade my harvesting tools to the level 30 tools, which should be like oak, a set of oak, I believe.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go ahead and take this Griffin Tower and fly. It really doesn't matter which one you choose because they're both going to go the same direction to start off with, and that's all you need if you're trying to get a bit of a shortcut to the docks. You just take it here, jump off, and you know, it saves you a few seconds of running. It's not that big of a deal, but it does. Oh, an NPC on Qeynos docks selling tickets to get there. Okay, yeah, that's that would be an easier, faster way. Do you happen to know how much the tickets are? I'm gonna bet like what, 5 silver, something like that. Okay, I assumed it would be about that. That's a pretty reasonable amount to get a ticket to Enchanted Lands for, but you do miss the opportunity if you do that of possibly finding a striped red ant from the shiny near the docks here on Thundering Steps, which I'm hoping to run across. It would be phenomenal. And there's the shiny. Now the question is, will it be a striped red ant? Odds are no. But you never know. Guess I'd better kill this peach panther. Yeah, I understand. If you have half the money and don't want to make the run, then it makes sense to do that. Plain blue ant is not a striped red ant, unfortunately. But hey, you know, a collectible is a collectible. I'll take it. Alright, so I will have to go to Neck Forest so that I can pop up. And you know what? Real quick, let me mend because I just ran by a mender and certainly don't want to get caught out without fully mended gear. Yeah, we don't want to go to Lava Storm. Enchanted Land is the way. Now the Enchanted Land is filled with goblins and fairies and triads. But what we're going to do is try not to run into those so much right now. What we want is just what the land has to offer. We need a little bit of a little fish, and then we're going to partake of their animal dens and shrubberies and all that. Exciting stuff. Now, as mentioned by Shadow, there are some aggro guys in here. Most of the stuff over here in this area is not aggro. You'll see that very mischievous maiden right there. It's a fairy who's very, very aggro. Very deadly to us weaklings. So we'll try not to get hit. And also these beetles right here. They are fairly unobtrusive. They stick around that little hill over there. But surprisingly can cause dismay when you get a little bit too close to them. Fortunately, this character is high enough level that I don't have a lot of concern in that regard. I'm still, really, Copernici is of about the right level to do this zone. So he's not actually in any danger here. Well, okay. I say that, that's not entirely true. But from those beetles, probably would survive an attack. The very mischievous maidens, they're also not heroic. I feel like there might be, maybe there's a group of them around here. Maybe not, I don't remember. There may or may not be a set of 3 that's aggro. Already getting a little variety of items in the old bags. And definitely improving the gathering abilities for this character as well, so that's always good. The no trade collections can be annoying because they stack up in your bags, take up room, and then you end up having to go and delete them because you can't do anything else with them. Really. So. Oh yeah. Also another. There was a trap on the there. Near the clearing room, constantly moving small. The bottom is a number of yellows. This area is fairly safe to gather in, even when you're very low level. So if you're level 5 or 6 and you're going and gathering around places, this is one of the places that you can go and still be pretty safe. However, it does look like Enchanted Lands is much, much, much easier to gather from at low levels than Zek, for instance, is. All of the things in Zek want to kill you. I just don't have a lot of nice, friendly fairies running around. The biggest fear is not paying attention and be sitting and clicking on a node when all of a sudden some creature comes walking by like that treant, and you accidentally double click and therefore auto attack the treant that's wandering by. Now those guys are mostly going to be heroics, and so it's definitely not something that you want to accidentally enter into combat with.
No idea.
May as well hop over while I'm here. Oh well, first I'll grab these fish, obviously, when they're there. But then I think I will head over to this island over here. I believe there might be a little bit of an AA boost for getting here. I'm not sure. There's definitely this, yes, the Fey Isle. Doesn't look like I can get anything from that right now. There's a high warden tussah over here, interestingly. And that's pretty much what's on this island, but got my AA done there, which gave me a couple of percentage points of a level, it looks like. Because I believe when I checked right before I got it, I was at 10.6, now I'm at 12.9% of the way into the level. There aren't too many people gathering here right now, and it shows that there are only 11 people in the zone at the moment, so I'm not having a whole lot of competition in that regard, fortunately. I also don't have anything specific that I'm looking for. I'm just kind of gathering in general, trying to increase our stores of harvestables. And not even really looking for any rares of any kind or anything. So, that's a good thing in a lot of ways. And I'm also working on getting up my harvesting skills in all of the regards. So. I've only been here a little while, and I've already gotten a decent number of these green tea leaves and the wood, and a little bit of things like the supple, which I know we needed more of, and the velium. So there's fan. Here's the opaline. Whatever. Do I have any velium? Yes, I have a little bit of it. 24. So getting a little bit of a lot of things. While that their mischievous maiden is over there, and that beetle is over here, I'm going to try to grab this animal thing this is a quest starter. I don't have room really in my journal for it right now, but it's one of those where you run around to the different areas of the zone and you get updates basically for going to different locations. There's a very mischievous maiden there, and I don't think that I can get this without aggroing it. That's as close as I can get. So that's too bad. Now I'm just finishing up the circle here on this island, and things are starting to repop that I gathered before. So I can make the circuit again. There are also a lot of things that you can gather out in this area to the west, but you have a little bit more. In my opinion, it's a little more aggro out there. And as Shadow mentioned earlier, you do have to watch out for the wasps. I just ran right under that very mischievous maiden and have it on me. But again, I'm not all that concerned because I don't think that it's going to kill me before I just naturally run it off. So there it is. And now I can just come back and get these random harvesting nodes over here. Telling you guys, the sounds coming from the D&D room, man. You just never know what you're gonna hear.
Technically, I didn't find the wall, but you got to a wall closes before I really there's a wall that is. Yeah, but even be worse. Why could I roll higher than 13? Oh, wait, you want to roll? Here's die.
This is one of the decent places to come when you're getting your treant lore and legend updates, because there are a good number of them here on this little island. And they're not the lowest level treants, but they are lower level. As I mentioned the other day, when Darklight Woods came out, that was probably the best place to get your treant lore and legend, because it has a good number of very low level treants. And you know what's funny is that I keep saying that, but actually it may have been. You know what it is? It's actually elementals that has the that's in Darklight Woods. It's really easy to get there. The treants are actually in Fadework, in Greater Fadark. And so that's going to actually be out in a couple of months. And there will be a great place to get treant lore and legends at that point. And of course, then the Bixby, or the Bixie rather, lore and legend will come into play as well. And Greater Fadark, of course, has a good number of Bixies running around in it. Now, you see that there's a shiny right there. But unfortunately, there's a heroic beetle standing on the shiny. Isn't that a shame? Can't get that piece of wood either, due to heroic beetle being there right beside it. Could do without that. And so I've made the circuit again and come back around to the start. Things have started to repop again over here. Not a whole lot yet. So maybe I'm gathering a little bit faster than they're repopping. But I'll run around and it doesn't take too long to find the next one. And the cool part is that at this point, since it's been completely cleared, everything that pops up now will be a random smattering of things instead of things that have been cherry picked. So now we're in a situation where we have no idea what's going to pop up as far as harvestables go. So it's a good place to be. And currently there's no competition over here for harvesting. I can see with track that I'm the only person nearby right now. Ah, well, I say that and now it's not true, but it looks like that person is just going over to take the spires for a little fast travel. Of note, when I discovered that location over to the east, I believe it gave me 3.3%. Or no, 2.3% of a level. Oh, hey. How you doing, Whitcomb? Oh, well, thank you. I don't know if I have any we can trade. There, I do. There we go. Try that. Maybe you need that one. Thank you. I actually need all of those, so very cool. Very cool. I don't know if you needed the bird watching or not, but hopefully. Got the one on top. Very nice. Thank you. You must be higher level. Oh no, you're level 30. You just killed him. Okay, I see. Maybe. I didn't give him a shot, and I don't intend to at the moment. Just kind of running around, you know, taking it easy. That one's your warlock, right? I have a warlock on live. And warlock's okay, but I really think I prefer conjurer. Conjurer has a little bit of, it's kind of like the jack of all trades of mages, you know. It's got a little bit of everything, and of course it has the pets. Oh yeah, definitely. Getting the spells expert on the on any kind of a mage class is really highly important. Expert or master, obviously. Did you manage to get anything from the black market broker? Oh, you hate pet classes? Oh man. Conjurer is, I'm gonna say that I think Conjurer might be, no, I better not. I want to say that Conjurer is my favorite class to play, but I'm not sure that I can say that. I have a lot of nostalgia for Conjurer because that was my first class my first main was a Conjurer. And so I have a special place in my heart for conjurers. So I didn't get into necromancer. I had a necromancer at around this time period. Actually, when the game was out, I played a necromancer for a little while, and then I ended up betraying him to Qeynos because I couldn't get into it. You know, it was just not my cup of tea. I guess I really I preferred the conjurer. Now, I understand that necromancer has changed a lot since then on my but at that time, it was just a different kind of play style than conjurer. You would think it would be the same, but it really wasn't. Yeah, the illusionist is basically a pet class in coercer. I I played an illusionist for quite a while on live. Well, yeah, I was soloing with the necromancer whenever I was playing with it as a necromancer. But I gotta tell you, I mean, I betrayed pretty early on. At that time, you had to start the betrayal quest. I believe. When was it? It was pretty early. You had to start the betrayal quest, and I got in on that pretty quickly. Because I realized, you know, this is just, I don't know. Everything is a little bit different and just not what I was looking for, I think, at the time. Oh yeah, I have done a lot of boxing as well, so I understand that. I've done up to 3 accounts simultaneously, and I would just have like 2 keyboards in front of me and 1 keyboard in my lap, and have things hotkeyed. And definitely when you're doing that, it's you don't get as much of a feel for the characters that you're not currently playing. So I would agree with that. Yeah, I understand that too. I I was doing it when I was trying to level all 3 accounts simultaneously. The characters on not doing anything like that in the foreseeable future, however. So trying to, be very casual, laid back, Yeah, yeah. Going with the low stress lifestyle. But illusionists and coercers are fun, especially, and I would say particularly at this time period in the game's evolution. They are a lot of fun to play, and I would definitely be willing to make another one and level one up at this on this server. If I don't want to spread myself too thin right now. If I end up getting Copernicus up to max level and do everything that I want to with him, then I might focus on raising a second one up. But I don't. I'm trying not to get too distracted by doing any other characters right now. Like I said, the most I would maybe do right now in that regard would be if I decided to go and work on another crafter when no one, is wanting to do anything on this server. If like right now nobody's in on my guild, so it would be a moment when I might be willing to go and do that. But right now I don't really want to. I'm, again, this character isn't maxed out on trade scaling, and there's a lot of things that need to be added to in the depot. So I feel like this is the better use of my time right now. Oh, look at that, a ductile loam. So that's a rare that can be used for fighters to upgrade their combat arts. And a glimmering stone. That, of course, is just for imbuing, but I'll take it. I also have to keep an eye out for mobs of fish, because again, my fishing skill is not as high as I want it to be, so there aren't going to be any probably over there, but there is a rock, and we do like those. Technically, it's an ore. 1 minute until the spires are active, so if anybody wants to go and take the spires, now's your time.
Yeah, you know the wall. Would it go left or right down the living wall? And then keep it.
Earlier, a guildmate mentioned needing to kill Lord Gaidak, so I may need to start on the heritage quests for Deathless Citadel as soon as I can, so that I can go and assist with that job, because boy, that's a long one. Deathless Citadel is another one where you have to do it in a certain order in order to do it correctly, and I haven't been in there yet on this server, so I don't know what level of broken it is in there, or if it's all perfectly good. I think that on this server, it's I think it might be at the point where Emperor Fist spawns down down in the bottom. Oh, man, I cannot think of the terminology I'm looking for. It's been too long, you know, just out of my EQ2 knowledge. But I believe that it's at the point where he does not spawn up top on his throne. He spawns down in the basement area, possibly. Regardless, he's a nasty boss. And so it'll be a whole thing. Probably a few hours of time to go through the whole instance. And I don't know what the lockout will be, if it's anything like Neck Castle. I mean, minimum of 18 hours for sure. And that would be for a failure. Now let's see. Throw this adventuring equipment on. We'll just see if this is how nasty this fairy is. Not terrible. Now I can switch back over into the harvesting gear and continue on my merry harvesting way. Oh, is it? Well, this one has a bit more mitigation, but I'm sure that you probably dropped him a little faster. Oh, ouch, yeah, quarter life, that's That's a little low. It's not too bad though. All right, definitely getting a good bit. Up to 69 velium, I believe. Nope, that's Fairn. So 53 velium then. The velium and the Fairn, as far as I can tell, they look exactly the same. So, kind of a bit of a design flaw, I would say, with that. But that's okay. Where is this throwing fish? That's the real question. Oh, there it is, way over there. Definitely feel like I'm kind of falling behind on my quest completions for the level that I'm at. Haven't finished any of the heritage quest yet, which is crazy because I'm level 30. Definitely should have a few at least under my belt by now, so gonna have to work on that at some point. But again, I'm trying to do this as a way to kind of relax, and so I'm trying not to push myself at all or do anything that might be considered hardcore. Rock and Roll is in the area. I played with him recently. I don't remember. I think it was in, may have been in Stormhold. Kind of think it was. I feel like it was in Stormhold. Maybe not. I think he might be a mage, maybe a wizard. Now there is a piece of severed wood I can get. You know, I was thinking about it. I could have managed to get that Mr. Burkbelly update if I had paid attention and there were 3 guys in that room who were pretty definitively going to attack me, but I could have mezzed the closest one to Burkbelly and have had time to grab it before I was interrupted by the other 2. Don't know for sure if that's true, but it feels like there's a possibility of that. Let's see here. I think I may just come over here and do this. Start that out with. Howsoever, I got our friend Beetle here. He's been killed. Yep, that's a shame. That's what I get for trying to use a spell to start that attack. Foolish. Ah, well. Can't win them all. You. Just kind of checking out the docks real quick. Since I'm here, the Curious Augur over there, General Goods Merchant. There's various things in there. In fact, I need to. Let's see. Come over here. Maybe. Feel like. Here we go. Yeah, siren song. I may actually. I already have the siren song. I was in here before. I remember now. I went and picked up a couple of things. One of them was the Lore and Legend Sirens Quest. So don't need that. That was fun. We'll destroy it. And also, I'm not sure. I may have gotten it. I may not have gotten it. There's a clickable. Yes, pile of turtle shells right there. And that is the Storm Shepherd page. Right, great. Good job, memory. You came back. Wondrous. Alright, excellent. This guy has a quest starter. This one's repeatables, I think. So, alright, onward. So I don't really have room for more quests right now. I have room for one. And I don't really want to fill it with one of those right now. I don't feel like I'm on that, just not far along in the quest lines yet to be picking up Enchanted Lands quests, so. I guess I'll turn my pathfinding back on. Let's see here how my skills are doing at the moment. Looks like I could get my defense up a little bit. Ranged is not great. Slashing is pretty bad as well. And focus is harder to get up on scouts and fighters because when you're trying to get it up, you need something to be beating on you, and the problem is that you don't have any really long casting spells. So the best way to do it, in my experience, is to go and attack like a gray mob or something like that, and then let it just hit you, turn off your auto attack, and then start trying to cast like Call to Qeynos. It's a very long casting spell, so odds are you'll be interrupted while you're doing it. If you get almost done with casting it and it still hasn't interrupted you, which is a good thing because it means that your focus is getting better. But if you get to that point, then you can just cancel it. And good night, Shadow. So you can cancel that spell cast and restart the cast. So that's my advice on getting focus up as a fighter or as a scout. And obviously I need to take this one out to do that because his focus is quite terrible. But I definitely need to work on getting those skills up to snuff. It's not as important due to the length of time that you take to cast a combat art. It makes it less important for scouts and fighters that don't have spells. They only have combat arts. But it still does come into play because, for instance, if my focus had been higher when I was trying to get the update from Burp Belly, I could have resisted more of the attacks and then been able to harvest his body in spite of being hit during that harvest time. It's, it's times like that when it can come into play very, very clearly. But you can be interrupted even during a short cast by things beating on you. So again, it shouldn't matter as much for a scout because theoretically you're not being beaten on so much, but sometimes things don't go as planned and maybe you're trying to cast evac, but alas, you can't manage to get it off because something keeps interrupting you. It's not a good spot to be in. So, recommendation is try to get that up so that you're not looking like this poor guy with 90 focus out of 150. It's definitely not, that's not a great spot to be in. So, what I should do is just take this character out to a very low level zone and cast a non-aggro or something that doesn't put me into fighting mode like flashy trick on some gray mob, and then just let it beat on me for a while I try to cast my will. I can't do the call to guild hall while in combat, but yeah, it's a whole situation. I'll definitely need to get that one way or another. The other day, when I tried to stream, apparently I had accidentally put it into the Pokemon Go category of streams instead of the EverQuest 2 category. It was funny. I was thinking to myself, man, once I figured out that I had done that, I was thinking how humorous it must have been for some poor Pokemon Go player to see the title of a apparently Pokemon Go stream that says, "How about a quest? EverQuest 2 Origins." And they have no idea what any of that means. And so if they're trying to attribute it to Pokemon Go, it must have been kind of mind blowing. Like, what is this? What is this person found that I don't know about here? You know, this Origins, is that a new thing? EverQuest 2, is that some new quest we're getting? Who knows? So I amused myself considering what it must have been like for them. No, there's no way that I can get that shiny there with all these beetles here. I might would have tried it if not for the fact that this Black Rock soldier is coming. I wonder if I could get their attention, run them off, and then make it back to grab the shiny before they get back. I think I would have to take all of them so that they would be out of the way. Those 3 would probably all need to be gone. But since they're still there right now, what if I give this a shot? We've got 15 seconds, hopefully, of them being mezzed. That worked. Alright. There it is. By the time he breaks that mez, I will be far enough away. He will no longer be interested in me. So, there we go. Now I don't even have to worry about him anymore. Except that I do. He flew a little further than I anticipated he would. Man, he was angry. Ah, the joys of antagonizing beetles. Now, I've gotten a good amount of harvestables here. One thing I was coming for specifically was the supple loam, and I now have 51 of those, which is not a small amount. I also wanted the velium, and I now have 61 velium. That's reasonable. I have a bunch of other things as well. I wanted some tussah roots. I have 77 of those. So, it's not too shabby. I think I'll still grab a little bit more before I call it good enough for government work. It's not the worst harvesting stint. Still no action within the guild, so apparently it's a nice, slow night. The coolest part about getting that shiny that was over with the beetle is that now other shinies will spawn in that area. And I do like that. I could go ahead and take the teleportation spires just to get the AA of going out there. I don't really think I care to, because again, at this point I feel like I've kind of out-leveled some of the quests that I have, so I don't want to get too far ahead of that. I appreciate that those sirens are not aggro. I feel like hopping back over to the guild halls and guild house, I should say, and depositing some of these things into the depots. But I don't want to miss the opportunity of the shiny spawning over in that area where it was previously under the beetle, and it would be a shame to have gotten it only to miss the next spawn of it. And of course, we could always use a little bit more in our depots, and getting a few more pages of books and things also wouldn't hurt. I still haven't figured out how to see who's in the chat channel, or I should say, who my watchers are at any given time. I think that there's a way to do it, but maybe it's because I'm using my phone as my chat monitor instead of using a computer monitor, because I don't have a second computer monitor right now. And so it may be that I can't see the people who are following, or the people who are, I should say, the people who are watching, because I don't have the computer monitor to see that. I'm not really sure. So until I can figure that out, I'm just not going to know that answer, I think. I'm hoping to be able to get a second monitor, but I'm afraid that it's going to have to wait until I can actually get a better laptop than this one, because this laptop does not have an HDMI port. So I don't know if there's any way for me to even plug in a second monitor. Hardware is not really my cup of tea, so not sure if there's a way to do that without an HDMI port. The other laptop that I have that does not have a charging cord, or I don't know, it probably has an HDMI port in it. I would have to check. It's definitely a better computer than this one is, which doesn't say anything, because honestly, this one was it's just a bare bones laptop that I grabbed to do some writing on, because that was its entire purpose, was to be able to just be a word processor for me. It was definitely one of the more basic computers, one of the more basic laptops that you could get. It's very lightweight. It's very small. The screen is tiny. The keyboard is tiny. So it fit my purposes at the time very well. It's not phenomenal as a gaming device, and it certainly isn't any kind of streaming device. So unfortunately, this is what I have at the moment. Hopefully I'll be able to improve that as time goes on. But for now, I have no idea who is watching. I would love to say hello to you all. So now I can just say a general hello, everyone, and you can just know that you're included in that. I'm hoping that with all these additions of food and drink raws, that some of the provisioners in the guild will jump on it and make us just a plethora of different foods and drinks at this tier. It would be phenomenal. We'll see what happens. I believe that the only other character that I have on this server that may be off the island, I think, is a scholar. I don't know what direction I was going with that character. I have no idea if I was doing sage or alchemist. It's I'm not sure. Since I don't know, I may end up making that character into an alchemist because I feel like we're not really having a sufficient number of potions and poisons being made in the guild. I don't know if that's just because people's alchemists aren't high enough level, or if it's it's just not happening for one reason or another. Just out of curiosity, though, let me look and see what we have at the higher tier of crafter level. So it looks like we have a provisioner, an armorer, a sage, an alchemist, another sage, a carpenter, a jeweler. So what, in fact, are we missing? I would say in the 50s, we have an alchemist, a sage, an armorer, and a provisioner. 50s and 60s. So pretty much anything else would be a fine direction to go. This character's a jeweler, so obviously I wouldn't want to make another jeweler. The fact that the one I know of is a scholar indicates that was probably not the correct direction for me to have gone with that character, because this one's a jeweler. We already have a sage and an alchemist at that level now, so perhaps I will not work on increasing that one's crafting level for now. It doesn't seem to be a useful crafting class to level at the moment. I'm trying to think about what might I want to do if I were going to level something that wasn't one of those classes right now. I wonder if we have a woodworker. We do have a woodworker, level 29. Okay, that's Atarixa, and I know that he's leveling the character up, so the woodworker is probably taken care of, or will be taken care of soon enough. So let's see, what else? Carpenter, we have a level 38. And that's Aurelia, so that's likely to be leveled up soon. Let's see, what else might we want? I know that a weaponsmith is in the works. I don't think that the weaponsmith is very high level, but it looks like there are 3 low-level weaponsmiths in the guild right now, all of them around the same level. So I guess that's just kind of where they got to before they said, oh, this is enough of this, making 2 items over and over again business. But okay, good to know. Well, in that case, I didn't see. Okay, our armorsmith is high level. Didn't see a tailor among that. Okay, highest is 30. I doubt he's going to be leveling very quickly, but That one is also 30. Hard to say. Well, I won't worry about it right now. I don't think I'm at the point where I want to work too hard on that anyway at this time. Finding a decent number of shinies out here now that things have kind of cleared up. And I've needed a good number of them, all things considered. Huh. I think that very soon I'm going to go ahead and call to the city to dump these items into the depots because I'm running out of stamina for this harvesting business. Been a nice relaxing session and all, but I'm feeling a little more relaxed than I'm interested in. Howsomever, before I call the hall, I think I will make my way back over to the docks and head to the Thundering Steps docks so that I can, first of all, I'll mend on the way if I can remember to. And second of all, I want to check and see if I can find a shiny over there and hopefully harvest that striped red ant that I've been looking for. I don't, I don't have any high hopes that I'll get it, but you never know. It could happen. It never hurts to give it a shot, right? You know what they say, you can't win if you don't play and all that business. So, if I can remember what I'm doing for a few minutes, then I will harvest my way around this island, or no, this peninsula, I suppose, and then pop over to Thundering Steps and grab those that shiny that's sure to be there on the docks by now. I think I'll forego that wood and just stick to these ore. Bestial cluster. That's nice. It'll be a couple of levels before I need any bestial, but good to get a head start on that. I should probably start on unlocking the doors over in Neck Castle here pretty soon, because I've got a number of heritage quests that we're going to need to do there. and probably make multiple runs through. So we'll want to have all of the areas unlocked to be able to do that most effectively. And it would be better to unlock it a little bit at a time than to try to do it in one big go of it. May just go a little smoother to do it that way. Yeah, no. I always forget which direction to go on these docks to hit the bell. But there we go. Heck forest it is. And then we'll pop over to the Thundering Steps. I'm going to go ahead and remember to mend while I'm there on those docks. And then I'm going to check on if there's a shiny hanging around in that area. Then I'll call back to town and head to dump some of this into the depot. And then I'll take a break and get some supper, I think. Because I'm starting to feel a little on the hungry side. It is, after all, about 9 p.m., so I think I'll check this side first with a shiny, and then we'll go around to the other side to see if it may have spawned over there. Nothing yet. Fortunately, these guys are now mostly gray to me, so I don't have to dodge around as much to avoid being attacked. The shiny is here, so grab that and hope for the best. That is a spotted gray ant, and while that's a very nice shiny to have, it's not the one I was hoping for, so alas. I will go to my abilities tab, go to my Call of Qeynos, and hop over there. Did I mend? Is the question. I did not mend. I ran right by the mender. Glad I remembered prior to getting that cast. There we go. Okay, now, just for fun, let's see here if we can figure out what the best thing to do is while we're being attacked by a low level thing. Let's try escape. It takes a whole second. Not long enough to get interrupted. Oh well. Oh yeah, I know what to do. Okay, the hex dolls. That's the answer. They take longer to cast than anything else. So, in that case, I can come over here and I can annoy this crab. And then I can start casting the hex doll, except that I didn't equip the hex doll first. Isn't that great? Yep, okay, so let's kill this crab. Boy, really good at this game, let me tell you. We're gonna try this again, but this time with gusto. Alright, we're gonna put the adventuring set on. There you go. That was a good first move, wasn't it? And then and only then, am I going to aggravate this crab? Yes, all is looking better now. So now I can try casting this Hex of Shadows on it. And theoretically, it's going to interrupt me before I finish, but if it doesn't, I can always just hit the escape and try again. Now you notice that my focus has already gone up from that one shrine. And this is partially because my focus is so bad. And then we'll try casting again. Interrupted as predicted. So this is the way that would probably be best for leveling up, or I guess skilling up the focus skill for a scout or a fighter. Just sit and let it beat on you while you very slowly level it this way. But I'm getting almost 1 skill point for every time that I attempt to cast this Hex of Shadows. So it's not too bad. I mean, it would only take me 60 tries, I guess. Of course, he will wear me down a bit. It would be easier if I went somewhere very low level, because then he wouldn't do as much damage. And if I did that, it would go a little quicker in that I wouldn't have to step out and kill the thing and recharge before I do it again. However, in the time I've been sitting here getting beaten on by this crab, it's already gone up 7 points. That's okay. That's a decent amount. Anyway, not going to continue to do this. I think I'm going to go ahead and get up to 100 focus just because it's a nice number to be at. And then I'm going to call that good for now and call the North Qeynos so that I can head over to Willowwood and dump some of these collectibles, or not collectible, yes, the collectibles to collectibles and harvests into the depots there. Alright. So, managed to get that figured out, and whenever I feel like spending a decent amount of time sitting there, continually trying to cast a hex doll against a very low level gray mob, then I can at least remember how to get my focus up most effectively as a scout.
Because I pointed out with it, I saw the point of balcony, they seem to see go through, and now they have it, and they're trying to walk out of this here.
And I don't think I have a lot to do in North Qeynos specifically right now. I'll check and see if I have. I may have. No, really, I didn't do too much out there, so I think I'm just going to head over to the down below and pop into the caves and then to Willowwood so that I can hit the guild house and then empty a lot of this stuff into the depots. And get some food, which is the more important part of that. I should be back in after that later tonight, but it definitely will be gone for at least 20 to 30 minutes. And of course, I always mark this as I go through. And then, of course, I go and grab the shiny as well in the caves. If it's up, it's not always up. Normally is, and that's another thing that I can throw into the depot while I'm there. It's a very simple way to get some of these early level shinies that will help guildmates without spending a lot of time necessarily going out of my way to gather shinies from those zones. So hopefully I can find a charging cord for that for that other laptop soon, and if so, then I think I'll be able to do a little more because the memory on this computer is almost completely full. I think that there's a little bit of lag on the stream as a result. So I think the quality will improve once I can get that done. All right, emptied those bags. That all looks a lot better in there. I have a couple of things I can sell to the vendor, but otherwise, I like it. It looks relatively clear. All right, I'm gonna get off for now, and I will be back after eating supper. It was, as always, a pleasure streaming with you folks, chatting with you who were chatting with me in the chat channel, and be sure to toss me a follow, turn on notifications so you can see when I'm in, and see you next time. Bye bye.